නමෝ තස් භගවතෝ අරහතෝ සම්මා සම්බුද්දස්ස නමෝ තස් භගවතෝ අරහතෝ සම්මා සම්බුද්දස්ස.
During the 3rd century BC, the Indian Emperor Ashoka and the Sri Lankan Emperor Devanampiyathissa paved the way for the transformation of Sri Lanka into a Buddhist land and its people into a Buddhist society. Venerable Arahat Mahinda and great nun Arahat Sanghamitta, the son and the daughter of Emperor Ashoka, followed the way of great Gautama Buddha's direction, which says that the monk should travel for the welfare and happiness of as many people as possible. So, both of them visited Sri Lanka, bringing new hope through Buddhism with new direction for social life of Sri Lankans. With their arrival in Sri Lanka, the Buddhist faith propagated in culture, politics, education, social lives, community rituals and practices, as well as in political vision. Buddhist teachings and the Buddhist way of life brought about incredibly great changes. With the introduction of Buddhism to the country, monks and nuns were the teachers of Sri Lankan society. They have organized public sermons in villages, cities, and all the corners of Sri Lanka, covering each and every person. Still, their role has not changed. 2 monastic chapters developed as Mahavihara and Abhayagiriya. Buddhist schools, colleges, and universities were associated with these 2 chapters. From agriculture to medicine and irrigation to gigantic buildings, hospitals, counseling institutions and engineering had been set up. Today, they are modernly developed. The Kolambagama temple, situated in the northwestern province of Sri Lanka, is a focal point for religious and social work carried out by Buddhist monks. Venerable Gallahapitiya Premaratana Thero plays the leading role in social work for the welfare of the communities in this area, particularly for the benefit of children. The temple was the main operation center of the village where monks are living. All the communities in the village are attached to the temple. The community built the temple and provides the food for the monk. The monk has involved with the community in all events in life from birth to death. The monk has special determination in chanting for pregnant women and babies. Monks have organized first reading of the alphabet to children and organize early learning centers, schools, and higher education institutions. Managing early learning centers, supporting primary school education, and running life support and livelihood activities for needy women are among some of these programs. The Thero explains further. Our Kohombakale Children's Education Program is managed directly under our temple, which provided this land and building as well. School uniforms, books and other school provisions are given to these children every year. Hence, the environmental center can be described as a children's base environmental education center. There are 7 more such early learning centers here, which carry out invaluable social work in the field of children's education. The Thero explains further. I am very lucky. This is the only primary school in Sri Lanka which is named in commemoration of Lord Buddha's Enlightenment Day. Many children from poor and needy families are provided school education here. With a deep understanding of his role, the monk gives tremendous support to encourage social work. Dedicating one's time and energy voluntarily for long hours every day to render yeoman service to society is one of the many admirable and praiseworthy qualities of a Buddhist monk. With the introduction of Buddhism to the country, monks and nuns were the teachers of Sri Lankan society. They have organized public sermons in villages, cities, and all the corners of Sri Lanka, covering each and every person. Still, their role has not changed. This is the sacred and historic city of Anuradhapura, replete with its ancient chaityas, temples, and many places of worship. It is not an exaggeration to say that the entire city is indeed a hermitage for Sri Lankan Buddhist monks. On one side is Mihintale, the holy site visited once by Arahat Mahinda. On the other side of the city of Anuradhapura, one can see a proliferation of huge irrigation tanks and reservoirs. Situated on a picturesque rock face, the historic Isinbassagala temple in Medavachya in the Anuradhapura district is the abode of Venerable Dr. Kadavatkama Piyaratana Thero. Here, he concentrates on providing advice and giving leadership to social workers to run the Sunday schools for the benefit of local children. The monk also provides invaluable guidance regularly to groom samaneras or novice monks for playing leading roles in social work in the future. He does not hesitate in giving them every assistance possible to meet the burning needs of the poor. He also gives his wholehearted support to the community members who volunteer to help with construction work in village development. The Thero explains his work further. Our temple functions as a center for a large number of religious and social activities. Counseling activities, memorial ceremonies for deceased persons, and many more events held in this area are organized by the temple. This area is populated by large numbers of Sinhala and Tamil people, so we do a great deal of social work. We run the Sunday school very successfully, in addition to a monk school with 20 novice monks. There are 18 villages associated with this temple. I have established welfare societies in all 18 villages. They operate under my voluntary leadership, guidance and support. Our temple provides great support in this endeavor. As a monk of this temple, I have a commitment to visit those villages and help the people. We especially provide great support to protect these people from the dreaded kidney disease affecting our areas. The temple takes the lead in providing them safe drinking water, as well as advising them on food safety. We have formed volunteer organizations to play a crucial role in educating the people about prevention of diseases. In the sacred city, there are many Buddhist monks and nuns who engage regularly in various forms of social work. This is one such living example. Ordained into monkhood at the tender age of 5. This Buddhist nun disseminates Dhamma knowledge in the English medium among children.
Dear Buddhist, as a Buddhist, I go to the Buddha for refuge. I go to the Dhamma for refuge. I go to the Sangha for refuge.
අද අපි ඉගෙන ගත්තා මම බෞද්ධයෙක් මම බෞද්ධයෙක්ද
In her own words, she explains her social work.
In my school, Sinhala, Tamil and Muslim children study together. Their knowledge of English is very poor. So I started an English school in my hermitage. I have been teaching here for 5 years now. My aim is to equip these children with Dhamma knowledge so that they could engage productively in social work. I conduct these classes free of charge.
For all these matters, since the 3rd century BC to the 21st century, the community relies on the monks for advice, guidance, sharing and consolation with greatest trust. Generally, all the people respect, believe and follow the monks. Monks help unite all Sri Lankan society in the bond of universal fraternity. Without deviating from their historical assignment, the monks have to face modern challenges with modern knowledge, skills, attitudes and commitment together with their inherited disciplines. He appoints educated Buddhist monks as chief incumbents of smaller temples affiliated with his own and ensures that they provide leadership for social work in their respective areas for the benefit of each community. He especially supports social work carried out by Buddhist monks and nuns in a number of villages in the Anuradhapura area. Many of the poor folks in the remotest villages are affected by deadly kidney diseases owing to the lack of safe, clean drinking water. One aspect of the social work carried out by the Thero is providing water from common wells to these needy people. Following the very words of the Enlightened One, the Sri Lankan Buddhist monks and nuns who engage wholeheartedly in social development work are a shining example of stepping up to fulfill the historical assignment to ensure the well-being of many more generations to come. The learning experience of practice-based research will provide a knowledge base that must be inculcated in monks' practices for the great journey through the 21st century. He appoints educated Buddhist monks as chief incumbents of smaller temples affiliated with his own and ensures that they provide leadership for social work in their respective areas for the benefit of each community. He especially supports social work carried out by Buddhist monks and nuns in a number of villages in the Anuradhapura area. Many of the poor folks in the remotest villages are affected by deadly kidney diseases owing to the lack of safe, clean drinking water. One aspect of the social work carried out by the Thero is providing water from common wells to these needy people. following the very words of the Enlightened One. The Sri Lankan Buddhist monks and nuns who engage wholeheartedly in social development work are a shining example of stepping up to fulfill the historical assignment to ensure the well-being of many more generations to come. The learning experience of practice-based research will provide a knowledge base that must be inculcated in monks' practices for the great journey through the 21st century.